thought he was getting a gig. He knew Jason liked general manager. He started calling around. Are you available? Will you come with me to Tampa? Will you come with me to Tampa? Once he had all his ducks laid in a row, and he thinks he can do something with Jameis Winston, and he likes Jason Light, he's like, all right, I am now ready to go. So what they did was the whole coaching staff gathered at one place, and they just went over every single play, every single practice from the year before, because they're all new. They cleaned house,
Right.
And then they went and they asked people, what about this? What about that? So however it was determined by Arians, you know what? They were in salary cap hell. How are you in salary cap hell when you only win 5 games in a row, 2 years, 5-game wins? That's bad in itself. But they were. So They needed some money. And they must, whoever they talked to on what they saw, Gerald McCoy slowing down. He still got a little bit of get off, but when he got get off, look, here's a telling stat. Now I like Gerald McCoy. Gerald McCoy's a good man, all that. Yeah, he's a good teammate. Mm-hmm. He was not voted captain by his peers last year for the first time in a long time. That's telling you something right there.
Right.
And he wasn't even a captain, okay? And your peers, that's how you really judge. They know, they see what's going on. So that combined with $13 million, his age, you know what? They're like, you know what? Boom. We're going to cut ties. He got butt hurt. Now he is pumped up to be playing the Bucs 2 times a year. I know that for a fact.
Well, yeah, because that was the shocker to me, Rock, when he signed with Carolina, and it's like, okay, so now unfortunately we won't get to see him at Raymond James Stadium because the game against that will be in London. So that game won't be at Raymond James. We'll still see them playing in Carolina against each other in the London game. But you know he's going to be psyched up to put Jameis Winston on his butt in those games or make somebody look bad and say, okay, well, you gave up on me. Well, here, I still got it in the tank. So we'll have to see what he does in those 2 games especially because he's going to be jacked up to play the Bucs. You know that.
I'll tell you, you are right on. I got an example, okay, and I won't name names. You never name your source, so you won't have behind-the-scenes news, okay? Everybody can look up stuff on the internet and give a take, but it all comes down to what do you know behind the scenes. There's always more to it. So Gerald McCoy, he obviously still has his house here. He's been working out at a location in Tampa where a lot of Buccaneers and a lot of NFL players work out. Matter of fact, Randy Moss is down here all summer coaching. He wants to be under the radar, doesn't want to be bothered. And a guy I know in the media went over there, and he saw Gerald McCoy, and Gerald McCoy knew him, and he said, hey, man, don't put me on camera. Like, I don't want people knowing working out here with Bucs and all this stuff, and where the location is only bothered. And he goes, okay, I got you. And he goes, hey, man, what about, and he goes, oh, this is John McCoy. He goes, oh, all you media in Tampa Bay are the same. Oh, you're all the same. Get away from me, get away from me. He goes, hey, man, come on. You can't say hey. You can't say hello. And then McCoy came over and he goes, you know what, I'm just playing with you. And he goes, all right, listen, I'll do you a favor. I won't put you on, when you shoot video for your story, you need B-roll. And he goes, I won't put you on. I'll make sure I won't put you on any of the B-roll, all right? We'll keep this between you and me. But you give me the first exclusive because Gerald McCoy has not sat down yet in length with anyone from the Tampa Bay media, okay? He hasn't done it yet. And he still hasn't returned this guy's call yet. So anyway, but they had an agreement. He goes, okay. And you know what Gerald McCoy said? He started walking away. He turned around and he put his finger in the chest of this media member here in Tampa Bay, and he goes, you tell everybody in Tampa, week 2, I'm coming. Like he's got, oh, my God, does he want to have a big game against the Tampa Bay Buccaneers? He is going to be jacked beyond repair.
Well, speaking of that, Rock, they do have young. I was at a draft party, or I was at Ferguson's in downtown St. Pete for the draft, and I was surprised they picked Devin White and not Josh Allen. So how is I've heard that Devin's doing a great job at camp, and if Levante David can't play, they're going to lean a lot on that kid because you don't have Quan Alexander anymore. He left, so now all the pressure's on him for that linebacker. I mean, I guess, he would be the only guy that I would think of that you would lean on because, again, if Levante can't go, that's going to be a lot of pressure on that rookie.
Yeah, like I said, now I'm a big believer in Arians. He, at 66 years old, he has a cabin in Georgia. His wife said, "You're retired. Come on now, you said it." But he thinks he can turn this thing around. He would not have come here. So, like I said, I'm a believer in him. But on this one with Devin White, I disagree. The kid has got so much talent. It's pretty obvious when you see him. You're going to start seeing these kids. He's got unbelievable talent, speed, power. He's blitzing. Where do you see this Todd Bowles defense? They're coming from, it might look like a 3-4 on paper, but you might have 5 guys coming, 6 are coming from the edge. He blitzes a lot, then he breaks it. He changes it up. Todd Bowles knows what he's doing. But they gave the yellow dot, the dot helmet to Devin White. Bruce Arians said, "You know what? You're going to call the plays. I'm putting it on you."
Okay.
Yeah, he said, "Honey, back." And I'm like, wow. I mean, he hasn't even seen an NFL offense yet. That is an awful lot to throw on a rookie. Now, Arians keeps saying you no longer have to, to be a leader. It's not about age. You can do it as a rookie. But can you imagine when he's going to be going against Drew Brees? He's going to be going against Matty Ice and Dirk Cutter. He's the offensive coordinator calling the plays again for. I mean, I don't know. I think it'll be a miracle. It's going to take a while. He is good. He is really, really, really good. There's a reason why he was drafted that high. But, yeah, I'm a little leery of that, making him basically the quarterback of the defense when he hasn't played it down in the regular season yet.
I agree with you, Rock. I mean, being that I follow the Bulls as well, we talked about that, but I follow the Florida Gators too, and seeing Devin White in the SEC, which they say is like the 6th league in the NFL, the SEC. He played well for LSU, so we all knew coming in when he got drafted that there was no doubt that talent that he had in college was going to go to the pro level. So, but then again, I mean, I don't know. I have to agree with you on that. I don't know why you give him the quarterback's position on the defensive side of the ball when you haven't played. I mean, I could see if he had been playing for 2 or 3 years, and you've seen these offenses, because Drew Brees is going to throw. I mean, Drew is one of the best quarterbacks in the league. You got to face Cam Newton and you got to face Matty Ice twice a year. Ooh, that's rough. And the Bucs don't have an easy schedule this year either. I mean, they got to play. Andrew Luck's going to be here. They don't have an easy schedule this year. And then again, what are they? 7 games in a row they're out of Raymond James Stadium. So how is that fair? The NFL did that to them. That's going to be unfair to the Bucs. Moving forward, I don't. I mean, again, I don't see them going 5-11 again. I don't. If Vita Vea is going to be a big part, if he's not, pray that he doesn't have any serious injuries, and we'll find that out tomorrow. But pray that he's not out for a long period of time. If they can keep him and Sue and that defense. I interviewed Pat Donovan, and he said the same thing, Rock. He said that the defense, you're going to hear that. What's the word he said? They're going to fly. They're coming at you. They're not going to be staying back. Smith had that defense sitting back all the time. He said these guys are going to fly to the ball. It's completely different. I said, well, this will be like the defense we saw when they won the Super Bowl. Back in 2002 when they had, Brooks and Barber and Lynch and Warren Sapp, just to name a few, guys that were on that team. I said, well, that's great because that's basically, to me, as an NFL fan, that's how the Bucs won that Super Bowl, is by their defense. I mean, I'm not knocking on Brad Johnson or anything, but again, they won a lot of their games that year by their defense containing the opposing offense from scoring points. If the Bucs can do that this year, they're going to be better than 5-11, in my opinion. I mean, that's how I look.
You're right. Yeah, you're right on. I was there for all of that when the Bucs made that run, and it was really incredible. I do a show weekdays with Martin Gramatica, and he was on that team, the kicker, and he was just telling me just how tight they were. I remember you would go in the locker room, and Warren Sapp, man, would like eye you, stare you down. You better be ready, even as a reporter. And they policed Derek Brooks, Sapp. They policed that locker room. They policed anybody that came into that defense. You had to play up to their standards, or they were going to take care of it. It was incredible. We didn't realize it at the time. You know what I mean? When you're going through, like, wow, this is a good team. It's great. But you are exactly right, man. That was like once in a lifetime. And look, you got Hall of Famers. You know, Rondé Barber's going to go in the Ring of Honor. They're going to have that press conference on Tuesday. Look at him. Simeon, not quite maybe a Hall of Famer, but oh my God. You can go on and on. You're right. And then what happened that year when Gruden came in, you bring in a Keenan McCardell. You got a Joe Jaravicius. You make just a couple of tweaks, couple of guys in, and then the offense just started getting better as they were making that run through the playoffs. Wow. I mean, I used to go to practice and see Brad Johnson, and I'm like, I think you could throw more than 40 yards or 35 yards. He was done. He was shot. But he was so smart. He was strong, and then he spread it around. So with the offense getting better, they were peaking all-star. And then, boom, you had the defense. Sapp would always say what he said, give us 16 points. But that's all we need, man. That's all we need on offense. So now we're far away from that, I think, Bradley. You know what I'm saying?
Well, I mean, they're young. I mean, the Bucs on defense are young. I mean, they got you got Murphy Bunting or Bunting Murphy, however you pronounce his name in the secondary.
You're right.
And me personally, being, again, as I say, I'm a Gator fan, VG3, like, Hargraves has got to be, this is his year. I mean, again, Todd Bowles, they changed defensive coordinators. He's got to step up and be a leader because he has not been that since they drafted him. And, if they're going to be that young, and you got to have your vets, you got to have your veteran guys step up, because if you don't, you're putting all the pressure on these rookies, and it's not going to pan out very well, And then again, on the flip side of that, if your defense can't stop them, then you put more pressure on Jameis Winston, who again is, as we all know in the Tampa Bay area, is up for a contract, and no Buccaneer quarterback has ever been signed to a second contract. So is this the quarterback that they're going to do? If he has a halfway decent year, I don't see why he wouldn't get re-signed. But if he has, those, off the wall fumbles, interceptions we've seen in the past 4 years, I don't see how they bring him back. But again, you don't have anything behind him. So that you let Ryan Fitzpatrick go to Miami. You don't have anybody behind him. So I don't know what they'll do. I mean, are they going to go and draft another quarterback next year in the draft? I mean, I don't know what they'll do if they don't. If he has a bad year, I don't know what they'll do. In all honesty.
From what I know, and to be honest with you, the Glazers that run the Tampa Bay Buccaneers are so different than a Jerry Jones. They don't like the camera. They don't tell anybody other than family. They keep it all in house. But from someone that I know has told me that even when they interviewed Bruce Arians, look, man, you're here, you're the quarterback whisperer. We got him for this year. See if you can turn him around. If it can't, they will cut bait and they will start out. They'll have a high draft pick and they will go that route. It's not like they're going to hang on. They might franchise him for one more year, but they're not going to give him the big deal unless he really, really shines.
Yeah, I agree. I think what will help him rock a lot is they have to establish a running game. To me, they haven't had a running game since Dunn and Allstott, and that's just me. And is Peyton Barber the answer? Is Ronald Jones going to turn around from last year? And then you have their third guy that I can't pronounce his last name,
just say Dari. That's what I do. We just say Dari. No, he has shown he is big. He's elusive. He's also got really good hands. They might use him. No, he might be a wild card. Then there's this Ellington, who Bruce Arians used to play for him in Arizona. He keeps talking about. But they didn't pick up the back from the Browns. He was out there. So we'll see. We'll see. They believe in the stable. It's not no big names. They're no household names, but they have looked pretty good in camp.
We'll see tomorrow night. Rock, have they announced is Jameis going to start, or is I know Roethlisberger's not starting.